Welcome everyone to our very last session during this conference. It was 3 long days and 2 days full of the content, and this is the last step for us to go through and finally close the conference. At this session today, we would like to let you know some statistics and some numbers, as well as some insights about what was happening through the conference overall, provide you some highlights on what's the great content you might decide to revisit later, and also announce results of our interactive sessions, mock interviews, and our challenges. So all of that to come in the next, we think, probably 30 to 40 minutes. Roman?
Yes, thank you, Iryna. And again, guys, welcome here. We're glad to see you here. We're glad to able to finish the conference, and hopefully to see and find a lot of interesting content for yourself. And again, of course, probably you didn't have a chance to participate in everything we had prepared for you, so you'll have the recordings, and we're going to highlight an interesting things which we'll still recommend you to visit after we publish the recordings. And of course, we would like to thank all of you for your attendance, for your questions, for your activity, and for your support to our speakers, to our team, and actually being so nice to us. And again, this is something which brings us together as a community in this, disconnected world or in this online world. So thank you so much. And yeah, just a kind reminder that we are still with you. It's Iryna Miranos and Mira.
And Roman Sakharov. Yeah, so it's pretty much the same people who opened the conference for you, but there was a third speaker, Maria, will make sure that she will show up next time. Just to add really quickly to what Roma already shared, actually, this conference was quite an interesting one, and out of the 4 conferences that we organized in the row so far, we can tell that this conference definitely had the most engaged audience. We definitely saw a huge number of the comments and the questions that were posted, and we definitely saw that people were not just sitting there and listening in the background. We actually got new experience as well, and of course, as always, there were some technical difficulties that we were solving in our way. We had some challenging situations with translations to certain regions of the world, but all in all, we solved all of these problems and went through that. Here are some quick statistics what we were sharing with you so far, and pretty much we didn't see any changes in the agenda, luckily. So we basically conducted everything that was planned for the conference, including every single speaker who attended the session. So let us take a look at some key highlights and some numbers about the conference. And yeah, so a bit of animation from us over here. So we actually got more than 3,000 people who registered to the conference initially, and we'll take a look at these numbers later on today as well. And we actually got quite a big number who ended up attending the conference. It was more than 1,500 people who was active part of this conference. And we definitely saw that you like the content that we are sharing a lot, because there is a special way how you can recognize a speaker by giving a special thing that we call badge. And as of right now, we know that there are more than 50 badges that were given to speakers, and actually you still have a chance to do that because we still to define the best speaker, but so far we have the leader already. And just to let you know how many people were involved from the organization perspective, it was a team of more than 50 people, including all of our experts and speakers and everyone who made it real for you. Talking about this interactive content, to be honest, we definitely didn't sit there, didn't count every single post and question that was submitted during the conference, But just by looking at that Q&A spreadsheets, which actually still available to all of you, we saw that there were more than 200 questions. And this is something that we see on those Q&A tabs only. I think there was uncounted number of the questions and comments that were posted through the event, especially when we were having those panel conversations. And here are a couple of the impressive numbers that we personally were impressed with. First of all, to get this audience to the conference, believe us or not, but we sent out more than 50,000 emails. And yes, that's true. And this is only emails. You can definitely know that this is not the only communication channel for us, but this is what it took. And sorry if some of you felt that it was a little bit of spam for you, but we definitely were trying to do our best job over here. And as I already mentioned, we've got quite an engaged audience this year, and we saw hundreds, thousands of posts and messages in the chats that were done during the event. And I definitely would like to thank you for doing all of that and staying active and reacting to all of that. And we do hope that it was a bit of fun for you, not only the useful content. Roman?
Yeah, guys, and just continuing with the statistics, we always aiming for the fact that we are actually an international conference and available for every business analyst and product manager across the globe, but not only, of course. And this year just proved that we are actually also continuing this great trend. So in the registrations, we had people from 49 countries this year. So which means like North America, South America, Europe, Asia, China. So, I mean, from everywhere, basically. So that's great news. I think we're going to be strengthening our impact to the world, and helping all of possible, locations on our planet to grow their business analysis and product management capabilities. But again, as you see, like, for now, we had the most people from Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia. So these were the top contributors in terms of participants. And of course, as you know, our conference is of course organized by EPAM, and most contributors are from EPAM, but not all of them, as you've seen, because we have some speakers who are also applying from external, and we have invited a lot of speakers from as a headliners externally. So, and this is a pretty good news because we had a lot of people from EPAM, as well as almost half of them were not from EPAM, which means again that we are also doing a great job in getting together our communities. And this is something we all want to do. And if you are doing your conference, just don't forget to invite us as well. Yeah, and in terms of the focus of our conference, of course, I think we are more or less like correlating with the fact what we have on the market, right? And of course, we had a lot of business analysts because, traditionally, there are quite a lot of business analysts in our markets. And during this conference, we had like 63% of business analysts. However, we see numbers of product managers joining us growing. And I guess it was from, 3 to 5% last year. Now it's up to 10% with the same amount of participants, which means that the industry is growing. And if you heard our couple of words which we had today regarding the product management tendencies, that that's the fact which we are seeing around the world, that number of product managers is growing, and maybe we're gonna see this trend during the next year as well. Yeah, and of course, in terms of the seniority, the most of people, and actually almost 60%, were middles and seniors. And that's a kudos to you and praise to you, colleagues, because you keep growing, you keep learning, which is always very important for all of us, because the moment you stop, you're actually starting to degrade and actually to lose your skills. So a great kudos to you, and again, thank you for being up to date. And of course, we also had your managers, our managers and leads joining us. Of course, those people who manage, they still grow, and probably they'll also be thinking on how to manage better, after our conference, because we shared a couple of great practices, on staffing, and usually that's the management part, on building bridges. So yeah, definitely we also had this audience, from our participants. And yeah, a couple of words regarding the agenda. I think you've seen it. Again, we hope that you can and you will actually revisit it at your convenience. As we already mentioned, you will have all the recordings available on the Community Z website. So basically, you can just go to the agenda, click on the talk you are interested in, and you will see the recording of that particular session, which is pretty convenient. And you can share it with any of your friends if you want them to basically get some knowledge from what we had today. And we really had during these days some great talks. Yeah, Iryna.
Yes, and there was a small announcement that I would like to make over here, because as you noticed in our agenda, the first day was the workshop day. We actually got quite a big attention to this workshop, as well as quite a big number of the people who registered and attended, and then a big number of the people who wanted to see the recording. And because of this huge interest, we are considering rerunning this workshop, so doing run number 2 in a week or so. So there are going to be a separate notification about that, and you'll be able to register to that. And because, to be honest with you, not everything during the workshop was recorded. It was really hard to record what was happening in the rooms and the working part of the workshop. And obviously, this is the most interesting part. We're going to redo this workshop, so stay tuned and come to us once again. So now let's take a look at some highlights from their agenda and what we personally can share with you. Of course, various people would have different opinions, but still. So from our point of view, panel discussions were just great, and those were very interactive. We barely covered all of the questions that were submitted. Of course, we're working hard on that, but it definitely was an interesting part of our conference. And we actually achieved our goal. Those panel discussions were led by you because those were driven by the questions and the comments posted by the audience. And some of their highlights from day one, this is my personal highlights over here. I want to be honest with you. There was lots of great content, but there were two, I think, really great sessions towards the end of the day. If you ever would like to see almost perfect way of conducting a talk on the very interesting topic, then I would suggest you to review once again topic that was done by Robin. I think it was a really great example, and he impressed audience even more when he was answering a question about the favorite books. He showed every single book right there, right on scenes, and that was really impressive. And if you have somebody, your relative or your colleague who is not that interested in business analysis and product management, and they would find most of the content boring to them, then there is one session that I definitely would recommend to anyone. That was a session conducted by Nikolai, and there was a great story how to speed up your learning, and also there were a number of the notes how sleep is important in our life. So if you want to share that with anybody, or basically anybody can listen to that, I think that was a really great session with really great conversations incorporated into it. Roman?
Yes, and guys, of course, we had a day 2, which is really great. And I mean, of course, we are talking about personal, but that was my favorite. I really liked the talks, and the events which we had today. I mean, both workshop, we had a very interesting product challenge where we really, played the Shark Tank, if you know what I mean. And of course, we had a legend, right? For all the business analysts who are with us today, you definitely know him. But we also really like the presentation, and it is shown on the votes. We had Carl Wiggers, and with his requirements management best practices, again, this is and again a reminder, how to create best products while managing requirements properly. And of course, like me personally, I also liked so much Howard Podeswas, his talk, on the approach to the agile requirements, and his highlights from his book. Paula Gray, who again, she's a visionary from the product management direction, and it's also always interesting to know such experienced and hear experienced people, and of course, a BA certification, which is also very interesting. And yeah, we are also keeping experimenting. And as you know, like during this conference, and if you've been to our last year's conference, there are a lot of things which are becoming new, becoming, more, I guess, challenging and inspired to all of us. First, we have new formats like product challenge, mock interviews, online workshops, games, and I'll also have.
And we actually got a new concept this year when we invited external speakers and speakers from other companies. So that was really interesting to see whether it's going to work out, and there is going to be lots of attention to these guys. And definitely all of our promoted speakers were mostly coming from this sphere. And actually, we also added lots of the interactive sessions with practitioners, with the experts, where they were sharing their experience and their insights right on the spot. So that was a part where we did a bit of experimentation. We wanted to be closer or similar to Clubhouse, and we think that it worked quite well. So that were some highlights. Let us take a look at some results of all of those activities, as we promised, to be announced at this closing session today. And the first one is going to be some updates about the product management mock interview. So this is the interview that has happened yesterday. And as we shared with you before, that was absolutely real interview with the real person, with the real questions. And actually, yeah, we saw a number of the comments that let us know that that having a commentator during the session was the right decision. Thank you so much to Vlad who did it. So talking about the results of this interview, Katerina, who was our candidate, she actually passed the interview, and as promised, we're going to have fast track assessment for her. So meaning she's not getting the promotion automatically, but she is already halfway or even more than that over there. So we would do just some quick extra check session for her, and here we go. She will be promoted to product manager. If you didn't have a chance to see that mock interview and see how that went, I definitely do encourage you. I think one of the lessons learned from this interview for us is the fact that we decided not to discuss the candidate in front of her eyes, and she was not part of the closing comments and closing discussion in the interview. And I think for the next time, we definitely will change that and would keep our candidates staying through the entire session. So that's our results of the product management interview. Roma?
Yeah, and of course, we had also business analysis mock interview. And again, because we selected our candidate quite randomly, so that's basically, that's a gamble, right? You might be ready and you might sometimes, pass the interview, sometimes might not. And that's just another reason, to always get prepared and don't be afraid. And of course, if you are also planning for the interview to, find a new job at EPAM, or maybe you are planning to find a new project also at your current employer, that's also works for you. I mean, just try it out. Um, Going through interview is also a part of your skill. I mean, of course, it shows what you can do, how you can do, how you're good at that, but still it's also partially a skill, right? And as soon as you train it, as soon as you're not afraid of it, it's going to be easier. So yes, so for business analysis interview, we have an improvement plan for our candidate. However, she did really great because, it's always quite, you are always quite nervous, when you are in an interview, and especially when you are on the public interview, because it's not easy, like multiplied by 2 or even more, right? So but Anne actually did great, and we provide in her a very good and detailed personal improvement and development plan, and yeah, we'll be hoping to help her to move into the next levels in the nearest time. So yeah, watch it in the recording if you didn't have a chance yet, or yeah, you can just check the results. Also, Traditionally, for our conferences, we will be selecting the best speaker, and he will be or she will be announced during the next week. So again, for all of you who are watching this with us now, the closing, or you're watching this in the recording, please don't hesitate and go to those talks which you really liked and vote. There is quite an easy interface, just a button vote. You can put the number of stars, but that will really help us to recognize the best speakers, and still to understand what you really did like. And of course, the speaker will get a prize.
Yes, and one more area where we would like to announce the winner is the challenge that was happening today, where we had three selected product ideas being presented in the format of the sales speech. And actually, we do have a winner on that, and the prize goes to Raul. I hope that I would read his name correctly. Raul Pandey, with his product that is called Idea Spill. If you didn't have a chance to listen to those great sales speeches, definitely suggest you to do so, especially to feel all of the difficulties for presenters to be perfectly on time and to be perfectly to the point. But so far, our jury decided that that's their deer that's going to win. And I'm going to give you a bit of a spoiler over here. His idea is about how you would combine various courses in one place. But if you want to have more information, please revisit the recording of the session, and you definitely will be able to listen to his speech completely. So we're going to contact Raul separately on that. And just to let you know, as a prize, he's going to get an external certification. So yes, that was for real as well. And we definitely thank everyone who applied to this challenge. It was really great to see how a number of the product ideas were just created and presented within several days. And that's pretty much it about the results that we wanted to announce over here. So let us move to the next part.
Yeah, guys, and basically the next part, which we traditionally again like to emphasize our big thanks. We already thank you as participants, but we also had, a strong team behind us, because all of this couldn't be possible without them, without those people who actually helped us doing that. And of course, like it's always, a lot of things to be done for the conference. You need to organize, you need to post it, you need to design, you need to manage it, you need to host it, you need to facilitate it. So there is so much to do. And of course, thanks to our strong team, that was possible. And yeah, we would like to start from our moderators.
Yeah, that definitely was not an easy job to do. I think we even didn't realize how hard it might be for a moderator. So as you might remember previously, when we were doing online events, it's one moderator per session. This year, we've changed the concept when we have these blocks of the contents in the stream. And we thought, why not to have one moderator for one block of the content? And this is what we did. That's why we have 4 people all together who served as moderators. And we definitely saw how much energy it takes to be the moderator, to jump between different sessions, to present different speakers and be the inspiring person for each of those speakers. So I think that was one of the hardest roles on this conference. And kudos to all of you guys, Lilia, Ilya, Daria, and Jan, who basically run almost half of this conference for you. So thank you so much. And that was really huge help, really huge effort and energy that you spent over here.
Yeah, thank you, guys. That was great. Yeah, also moving forward, we also have our organization team who helped us to select the best speakers, to basically coordinate all the talks with the best speakers, to run the dry runs, to run the selection, and all the backstage processes you might not usually see within those 2 days. But believe me, there was huge number of work. And it's Ksenia Vishnikina, Olena Mytil, Volha Hanis and Hanna Berezhetska, they all helped us a lot. I mean, and are still helping us. And even now they are watching us and supporting us. So thank you, ladies. That was great.
Yeah, and actually, thanks to them, we've got Carl attending our event. So yeah, special thanks for that for sure. Okay, moving to our another part of the organizational team who actually made the streaming and their online events kind of live, and who helped us to get our audience to promote the event as well as to launch every single session for you. Just to let you know that although there are two streams that we run in the agenda, for us, technically, it was 4 streams. It was 4 full teams that were sitting there for the entire day and running the sessions for you. And these guys are sitting on this session right now because, it takes a while. It takes some preparations. It takes some energy and time to make sure that this is being streamed to the wider audience. So kudos to all of you guys. If that event wouldn't be possible, if that wouldn't be your help over here.
Yes, thank you so much, ladies and guys. So that was great. And also another part of our kudos and thanks, of course, goes to our informational partners. Actually, our partners in crime, people who helped us to bring you all here, and people and the organizations which we are collaborating within, our quite competitive industry, but still we are working together, and trying to build a better business analysis and product management for all of us. So yeah, so these are IT Network, Lampovo IT, Analyst BY, Lviv IT Cluster, IT Association of Ukraine, Dev BY, E5 ComUA, Art of BA, and Business Analysis in IT Telegram channel. So yes, don't forget about them, but definitely subscribe, and you'll get a lot of also interesting information from them as well. Yeah, and just to finalize, again, I guess that's already Friday evening for lots of us. Probably you'll have your plans already for the weekend, so we won't be taking too much time. And let's just talk what is next. Of course, recordings will be available on YouTube and Community Deed, appearing in most likely in about 2 days. Don't be too surprised if they appear earlier, but also don't be too annoyed if they appear maybe a day later. So, but our estimate in 2 days, but we know as in software development, the estimation is not a commitment, right? So we should support that with you as well. So these are our story points. So
Yeah.
Iryna.
Yeah, you should understand that we're going to process these recordings one by one, obviously not as a bulk action. And as they appear, they will be published on the YouTube channel as well as linked to the Community Z portal. So whatever is more convenient for you, yours, whatever channel works. Yeah, so that's recording. That's actually, I think, top 1 question asked so far. Are we recording the content? And of course we do, as every year. Okay, so let's move forward and talk about what else can you do and what's going to happen. So first of all, you still might come up with some suggestions and recommendations to the org committee, and we are here for you on a constant basis. You can reach out to us by the same email address that was shown at the beginning of the conference. Again, we made it shorter. It's not the full name of the conference over there. And we are there for you to take a look at the questions and answers, which you can submit under each talk. Just go there and see that questions and answers button, or put your comments on the Community Z platform. We're definitely going to check all of them out, as well as export all of the questions and messages in the chat and share them with the speakers. We'll work with speakers to see if there are any questions that were not addressed during the conference, to see if we can answer them in offline mode. But to be honest, to the major part, we just want to share with speakers how much nice comments were put there in the chat area that they probably didn't have a chance to take a look because they were presenting and they were sharing the content. So we are doing all these for you. And again, if you still have questions or you want to talk to the speaker, you still can do that. Those questions and answers are not going to be closed for you even after the conference.
Even when the next conference arrives here, so you'll have a chance, to compare.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey guys, and
And
basically,
that's
it- that's always like that. It's online.
yes. So Roma, you go.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Again, we are hoping to see you this spring, this autumn, because we are going to have our global conference where we're going to have also some business analysis and product management talks as well. And in a year, we are waiting for you for the next business analysis and product management conference. Hopefully, new titles, maybe even in new roles. Maybe you will be a speaker here and you'll be delivering, your success story which you achieved during this year. So we wish you, this success, and we wish you, to get the maximum and out of this year, and grow professionally as you already do by attending this conference. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, and as always, have any ideas what you want to see during the conference, any topics, any ideas on the format, please suggest. We're definitely welcome to any suggestions from your side and happy to accommodate and be creative for you. Thank you so much once again for attending the conference. It was 3 crazy days, at least for us, and hopefully partially for you. We really happy that had happened. We're really happy to see so active audience and such a big number of the people who visited the conference. And we will be waiting for you next year, as Roma already mentioned. Good luck. Have a nice day. Have a nice night. And see you next time.
Thank you so much for being with us these days.